Her life, Eleanor Whitfield had been the picture of untouchable success, the steely-eyed CEO of Whitfield Industries, a woman whose name echoed in the boardrooms of Manhattan and whose achievements were whispered like legend. But now, there she lay on a cold hospital bed, her body riddled with a mysterious illness that no doctor could name, her breath shallow, her skin pale as moonlight. Machines beeped a slow, hopeless rhythm as specialists from every corner of the earth tried and failed to stop the invisible poison in her blood that was killing her faster with every sunrise. The media had begun calling it the fall of the Iron Queen. And yet, beneath all that power, a terrified woman clung to life, praying for a miracle that science could no longer offer. It seemed that even wealth, brilliance, and power had their limits, until fate delivered a miracle from the most unexpected of places, a broke, single-dad veteran named Lucas Carter, whose past wounds had bled into his future, but whose heart still burned with an unstoppable light. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and miracles from unexpected places, smash that like button, comment your thoughts, share this video, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope now to help us spread inspirational stories across the world. Lucas Carter had once been a decorated combat medic, the kind of soldier who ran toward danger while others fled from it. But battlefield shrapnel left him scarred, and the loss of his wife during childbirth left him utterly broken, thrusting him into the lonely role of a single father raising a gentle, wide-eyed 5-year-old named Lily who believed that her daddy could heal anyone with just a smile and a bandage. Lucas worked double shifts at a crumbling small-town clinic where his once sharp talents had dulled under the weight of grief, poverty, and exhaustion. Every night, he told Lily fairy tales of heroes and miracles, though inside he no longer believed in such things. Still, he clung to her hand as if it were the last thread tethering him to the world. Meanwhile, 3 states away, Eleanor's condition worsened day by heartbreaking day. Her board members scrambled to keep her illness out of the press, but whispers leaked anyway. The proud CEO who once towered like a titan in chic suits was now a frail figure hidden beneath hospital blankets, barely able to lift her hand, slowly losing hope. Hundreds of specialists tested her blood, organs, and marrow, and yet, every transfusion failed as her immune system violently rejected everything. It was as if her body simply no longer wanted to live. Her sister, Julia, refused to leave Eleanor's bedside and finally dared to whisper a secret prayer, asking the heavens for help in whatever form it might arrive. Help came, not on a private jet or in a silver briefcase of fancy medicine, but in a faded green pickup truck with duct tape on the mirrors, rolling up to an underfunded veteran's blood drive. Lucas, who had hesitated at first, ultimately agreed to donate after Lily tugged his sleeve and chirped, "Daddy, heroes always help." As Lucas's dark red blood flowed into the collection bag, the volunteer nurse noted something peculiar in his medical charts: rare blood enzymes and antibodies left over from experimental combat treatments he received overseas. His blood, resilient and unique, possessed properties no other donor had shown. Weeks later, when Eleanor's desperate medical team expanded their donor search beyond elite circles, Lucas's blood profile pinged in their database. It was a wild leap of faith, but with Eleanor's time down to mere hours, they made the call. Lucas thought it was a prank, until an ambulance arrived at his rundown clinic to pick him up. Lily danced with excitement at the flashing lights, believing her daddy was going on a real hero mission. Lucas, bewildered and afraid, suddenly found himself whisked into a futuristic medical wing miles beyond anything he'd ever seen. He stared in disbelief as lawyers asked him to sign paperwork worth millions. Yet, when he stepped into Eleanor's room, when he saw the gaunt woman with oxygen tubes and defeated eyes, he didn't see a CEO. He saw a human being, fighting to stay alive. He saw a reflection of himself after the war, lost, fading, desperate for a reason to believe again. They began the transfusion just after midnight. Lucas sat beside Eleanor, tightening his jaw as the needle pierced his arm, sending his blood into her frail body drop by drop. For hours nothing changed. Then, just as hope seemed foolish, Eleanor's erratic heartbeat steadied. Her breathing softened. The monitors stabilized. The doctors gasped, stunned. As dawn's gentle light warmed the hospital windows, Eleanor opened her eyes for the first time in days. She whispered one word through dry lips, alive. When her gaze drifted and landed on Lucas, sitting there in his worn boots and tired eyes, her lips trembled with something she hadn't felt in years, gratitude and admiration. Lucas tried to vanish quietly, but Julia grabbed his hand and insisted he stay. Eleanor recovered slowly, and during her first steps down the corridor, Lucas and Lily were invited to visit. Lily ran straight to Eleanor with a handmade card that said, "Thank you for letting my daddy be a hero again." That simple sentence broke the Iron Queen's heart wide open. For years, she had surrounded herself with power and walls. Yet this small child and her humble father had pierced every layer. Eleanor began requesting Lucas's presence at every checkup. What began as gratitude bloomed, in stolen smiles, shared lunches in the hospital garden, stories of their past pains beneath oak trees, Lily teaching Eleanor how to blow dandelions and make wishes again. Lucas, once convinced his heart was buried on a battlefield, felt it beat fiercely again as Eleanor regained strength, beauty, and laughter. Eleanor, once terrified of slowing down, discovered joy in the gentle simplicity of making pancakes with Lily in Lucas's cramped kitchen, flour on her expensive blouse and happiness in the burn of a failed first flip. Media eventually discovered the miraculous recovery and hailed Lucas as the angel donor, but the true miracle happened far away from cameras, when Eleanor whispered to Lucas one summer evening, "You saved my life not just with your blood, but with your heart." Lucas wrapped her in his arms, promising he would never leave her side again, not as a donor, but as a partner, a friend, a protector, and if fate allowed, someday, the man she called home. Their love story became a testament that even the bleakest nights can fade into breathtaking dawns, that sometimes, the richest hearts beat in the poorest chests, and that true miracles aren't born in laboratories, but in sacrifices made by ordinary souls who believe in extraordinary hope. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope so more people can experience these emotional true-to-life journeys. Your support keeps these stories alive. Special request, comment below with the words, "Hope lives on," if you believe kindness can change the world.